Hello, and welcome to our next episode of Schooling with Jane. I'm Hannah Mendelson, and with me, as always, the amazing trainer of trainers, Jane Guzman.
Another fun episode, so looking forward to it. This is Jack and you.
This is our second lesson together. We had some time in between the first two, but now we're back on track and we're excited to continue our journey of bit contact, balance, and a more forward walk. We did our best to do our homework and hopefully that shows.
That in itself was good. I can see it's obviously some time has passed because everything is very green now. But I loved how you were just standing there and he's just standing there and you actually gave the rein away and he didn't waltz off. And you took it back again. That is huge because it's saying that he's at least accepting you taking the contact. And we talked before about there's a time between when you take the contact and he begins to trust and take the rein rather than just give you that dead feeling of pulling against you. So yeah, let's have a look and see how he's moving with that left hind. In our early lessons, he was stabbing that left foot onto the ground. So let's see where he's at. And it was nice that you took a contact and that you just walked off with that contact. You didn't have to give it away. You just stayed there with him and that was fine. So we'll take the first moments of the lesson. We'll have a look at him again. And again, I can see the left hind is a little bit stabbier than the right. The step is longer. He's not creating as much dust. So there is some flexion in the fetlocks, which is great. And the hind foot is actually travelling further forward. Kudos on you for doing the homework. Well done.
We tried to be studious.
Yeah, it's great. And if we just take it little by little, if you make 1% improvement every ride, you're 100% in 100 days. Wow. Now that's a thought. We don't do 1% every day, but we can strive for that.
It's a good goal.
Yeah.
Here he's still fighting me a little bit, but it's not as much to bring him back.
Right. Well, can I correct that and say you
Please
don't
do.
ever want to bring him back?
No.
We want him just to accept contact. If you didn't take contact and you didn't ask him anything, he wouldn't object. But you haven't asked him anything. And so how can you go safely and gallop up the trails, which is what you eventually want to do, if you can't take a rein contact? So all you're doing there is saying, I'm holding your hand and I want to try and relax my elbow. You see how that's perfect. So what you did there was you leant back a little, pulled back on both hands and the legs slipped away forward. Run that one back again. So here I'm a little bit leaning back and I'm going to stop and I pull back and my legs go way forward. So he automatically stops with the hind legs out behind him, which means his rib cage is dropped down and the head and neck is up and we're building underneath neck muscles rather than helping him with his top line.
That's when you get that sway back position where the horse's back is dips like that.
Exactly. And they say, oh, it's just because he's old. It's no. Let's take a moment to think about how we actually apply aids. So we have 2 legs, 2 hands. All right. We're talking about our natural aids. The outside rein is the rein that controls the pace. The inside rein asks for bend and direction. If you just pull back with both hands, the horse may stop or maybe won't, but their head and neck is stronger than your body. So finding a system of aids that works would be a vibration with one rein. And the rein that you would use would be the outside rein. So you keep a contact with both reins, you allow your hands to follow his head, and you would use the outside fingers to ask him to slow down or stop. It
When we
would be
say a vibration, it's literally just
your ring finger,
this.
a take and give. The take and give is within the contact that we talked a little bit about in the last lesson. If the horse doesn't respond, we don't keep pulling back. Put him onto circle, because on the circle, he can't pull quite as much against you. So you're feeling the hand is here. Good. There's a stiffness in the hand. The hand could be closer, but we've gone on to a circle. And we're asking, I believe we're going to ask him to halt with the leg against his side. And he doesn't understand, which is okay. So we're going to teach him a kinder set of aids. He wants to pull the rein out of your hand, and you say, fine, I'm just going to hold your hand. I'm going to move with you, and I might try again in a moment. The legs stay back. Your shoulders could come a little forward. You want to have a straight line from your ear, shoulder, hip, heel. Gently. Good. And you can do that transition within the pace. So you can be walking on a contact and just, can you slow down a little bit? Good boy. And can you walk on again? So it's not a force. You're not pulling back at all. We've not put him into a drop noseband or a flat. We've not done anything other than saying, I am simply holding your hand. And if you look at him walking away there, you'll see that left hind. It's not as stabby.
No.
As it was.
It's a little more even with the right.
Which is impressive. And the step is longer through.
Because the horse moves from the hind end, just like when humans are walking correctly, you're kind of leading with your hips almost.
Yep.
The way a lot of myself and him, and I think a lot of people, you want to lead like shoulders first, and that completely neglects your core.
What your core is doing. So it's building in a human our core strength. In our horse, it's a core strength. And sometimes I'll say to people, what I'm doing is teaching the rider how to make the horse do Pilates. So it's very slow, very easy. I'm loving all the turns and circles. I think the upper body needs to come a little bit more forward, but you're beginning to move. Instead of the arms being stiff, there's a movement happening, and your horse is going better.
I can tell I feel a bit more trusting, a bit more relaxed, a bit more ready for whatever might happen.
If he did something, you would be in a better balance now. Everybody also thinks that we need to grip with our knees and hold on tight. But when I grip with my knees, my muscles contract, and it actually draws me away from the horse. So I want to be sinking down, allowing my body to move in this dance partnership.
I remember you saying during this lesson, like a way to kind of get a good position is to put the hand on the small of your back.
Yep.
And then it kind of aligns
it
everything.
Does. It lifts your sternum and your rib cage without leaning back. Sometimes when you say to somebody, sit up, and you automatically think shoulders back. Well, that can work with some people, but a good trainer watches the rider and thinks, your back's flat. All you need to do is lift your sternum and allow your hips to move. So by putting both reins into one hand, and for a moment taking your opposite hand on the small of your back, you can do it while we're sitting here. It just lifts your rib cage up. So it's nothing to do with my shoulders. It's more with my rib cage. Just run that bit back a little bit because you just look so nice. So look at you there. See how your hips are moving?
Well, thank you.
It's so much nicer, and your horse is happier. So he's moving better. He's going to stay sounder. I know what I keep continuously talking about, but we need to look at horses, how their body functions and how we can improve their function, because we want them to stay sound. And you can see he's still a little fragile in his hocks, but the more you do these great big loopy circles, the better he's going to be.
mean, he's a 17-year-old horse. That sounds old to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be.
Does not have to be. Does not have to be. In fact, often the slightly older horse is more tolerant to you doing more with, whereas the young horse just doesn't really know enough. By riding our older horse to help him move his body more, he's going to feel better. He's going to go back into the stall happier. He's going to be more comfortable for you to ride, rather than this very stiff staccato type jarring animal that you end up getting a sore back because you're tense on him. So the whole thing, even though we're just moving in walk, is great. And he's standing there. You have no rein contact.
And he's licking and chewing. Isn't that a sign of a release of tension?
Definitely. He's happy. He's engaged with us. You've had some contact issues with him, but by helping you get your balance to come more in harmony with him, he's only going to get better and better. And contact is going to take time with him. We're talking 6 months to a year of just quietly building up his understanding and then his ability to physically do what we want. When you explain to somebody that that's the time scale, we can't shorten that. We will have him forever if you do this, which is awesome.
You want the horse forever. What's a year when we're talking forever?
Right. You really have to find out why somebody wants a horse. Do they want the horse to go and get blue ribbons? If that's the case, I'm the wrong trainer. To me, that's not the important thing. To me, the important thing is meeting that horse where it's at and trying to figure out what I can do to make that horse more successful.
And safe. And it's actually fun when you start to feel like you're doing it right. And your horse isn't muttering at you under his breath because he doesn't know what you're asking and he's getting frustrated.
You know more now, don't you?
The more I learn, the more I realize how much there is still to learn.
Don't know what I'm doing there, but it's...
I think you're imitating both me and Jack. You notice my hips
Just
have
move.
opened more.
Yeah. A nice thing about that specific picture is if you look at where your knee is, it's not gripping tight.
No.
It's open. If you imagine that you're sitting on an exercise ball, and then if you grip with your knees on that exercise ball, the exercise ball scoots out behind you. Whereas normally, and think of the horse's rib cage as a ball, you're sitting on a ball. There's only about the width of 1 or 2 fingers of your leg that's against the side when we come to doing leg aids. By allowing your leg to stay there, you can have your center of balance coming down low enough. Grip with your knee, the muscle contracts, it tips you forward. You're ahead of the horse, which means the horse is behind you. When the horse is behind you, he's likely to run away with you.
And you're going to topple off.
You're going to topple off. So having your leg where it is right there is much, much, much better.
I remember you mentioning if you're unbalanced, you're sitting on a part of the horse's back that's harder for him to carry.
Right.
Like you need to be in that sweet zone.
You need to be in the correct position. So that kind of comes back a little bit to your saddle, and you tried, 11 saddles?
I did. Yeah.
The seat where the saddle puts you, the seat of the saddle needs to put you in the correct place on his back. If you then take your shoulders back too far, you're almost sitting on your tail. That puts your weight a little bit too far back on his back. So you want to be centered on the part of his back that he can actually carry you correctly. And that means then also having your legs back underneath you. So you have your heel is under your hip. You notice there as you go away, we still have that issue with that one stirrup a little bit longer than the other. And that's fine. We'll get that sorted out in time. But if you feel comfortable, then we're not going to change things. We're going to change it little by little as you begin to relax a little more. But look at your thighs beginning to move.
Which was... I mean, I physically, as much as the horse couldn't move,
right,
it it felt like I couldn't physically get my hips to open up like
Right.
that. I mean, that's one of the many magical parts of horsemanship and learning to ride properly is you begin to feel it in your own body.
Your body begins to feel better. Yep.
It's the most incredible
Yeah.
workout plan I've ever tried.
Yeah. This is what, lesson number 2? I don't think we trotted.
Not yet, no.
Yeah. So
We might.
oh, there we go.
This is our first trot on purpose.
Okay, that's all right. And you can see, do you want to roll that back again
Yeah.
and watch it? So we're asking, he's struggling. See how the step gets short and choppy, and he goes, ooh, that's really hard. And then he kind of gets into that little busy, quick kind of trot and very much against the hand. So we didn't trot for long.
No.
Just half a circle. But gradually we do a little bit more and a little bit more, and he'll start to trot more. We didn't do anything about diagonals. We didn't do anything about, can you just maybe trot and let me hold your hand and it's fine. If the trot hasn't got any jump to it, just stay sitting. Whatever you feel comfortable doing, but it's all about feel Jack. Feel him taking a bigger step. He's trying. Good boy. And you just feel that rhythm. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. Very good. We're not working bend. We're not working anything other than, can you stay with my leg contact and my rein contact? 1%. And that's all you're trying to do with them.
Now, why would a horse have issues going into from a walk to a trot?
That's a good question. He has issues because he's not pushing from his back legs.
Mm-hmm.
So he's used to going into trot by hopping up in the front end and dragging himself along with his front legs. And you can see that when you trot, he's trying. Front legs are pulling, legs are pulling, hind legs are out behind. Resistance in his mouth. I can't cope. Oh, I'll drag myself along.
See, there's people who would see that and they'd be like, oh, he's just being naughty. You need to make him.
Yeah. He physically can't do more than that. There's a slight slope in that hill, so we did the trot uphill on the arc of the turn to say, that's fine, good man, that's all we want him to do. Because there is a history of him worrying about it as well. So, you're fine. Can we go the other direction? I don't know. You're asking. When you're riding a horse, you're always asking. And if the ask is, like there, he pulled out and you just said no. Wait till I'm ready. Good boy. Better. So you got a little bit of a chew in the rein. But the first one, he pulled away from you, said, no, all I want you to do, that's all. It's really simple, but it's really difficult to do. That you're just absolutely trying to say, did we make 1% of an improvement? Fine. Did we trot forever? No. Did we do rising trot? No. Did we change the rein? No. Did we trot in both directions? No. Doesn't matter. Did you achieve something in your lesson? And then I might ask a rider, well, what do you think? What do you feel you learned or your horse learned in this lesson?
I know that wasn't a lot of trotting, but I was ecstatic because anytime I tried to trot him just on my own, it never felt in control.
Right.
And it never felt totally on purpose. It was like, okay, I'd get all tense and he'd get tense. And, it's like, well, I hope we stop. We have something to actually build on now.
Right.
It was very cool to get to this point.
And to understand why he trots as he trots. You could see him struggle in the transition into trot. And then in the actual trot, it was choppy and short. And, he's expecting you to pull back on his mouth or for you to just say, over to you. But you didn't do that. You just kept the rein and said, it's fine. I only want you to trot 20 steps. Good man. Well done. Can we do that again? Good. Can we do it again? If you go to the gym, do things 3 times.
It gets easier.
You did 3 trots. Fine. Did he learn? Was he happy? Yes. What's your homework before our next lesson? More of the same. More holding his hand. A lot of it at the walk. Still walking in and out of various different rings. Getting more comfortable with your shoulders a little bit further forward and your legs a little bit more back so that you're down in a centered part of his back. Then the turns, lots of stops. Stop, start, stop, start. Start, stop, start, trot. But choose a place that's easy for him to trot, which would be on the arc of a circle, heading uphill. Notice how he goes into trot. Why? He was struggling. He wasn't pushing off his back legs. So what are you going to say? Go faster? He's only going to run even more. You just have to say, okay, this is where you're at. How do we make this better? And I would say also doing a little bit of round pen work at the trot where he just gets to trot round. He's on the arc of a circle and it just lets these muscles start to function. So that's your homework for next lesson.
And we will do it. This has been Schooling with Jane. Stay tuned to our next episode where we check to see if I've done my homework. See you next time.
Bye.